Day two, really good day again. One of the things our focus was just the tempo. Making sure our guys can practice. We're out here with what we call spider pads, which is just a little sponge on your shoulder pads to keep them healthy. And you're coaching football, but you're also trying to teach them how to be healthy and make sure that nobody gets banged up unnecessarily. So they did a much better job of that, and that's my job as a head coach to make sure we don't have any crazy injuries because someone fell down and someone tackled someone when they're not supposed to. Friday we'll heat it up a little bit and we'll have full pads on, and I think we've only got maybe one, maybe two live periods in the day, so we're not going to do a ton of contact. Even though next week is spring break, we're going to have time. Just want to slowly get into it. We don't need to bang. We need to know what we're doing and get a little bit in. But we'll do some thud. We're staying off the ground. Again, just trying to keep them healthy, which is what we're doing. It's nothing good to having a bunch of guys in the training room. But today, and looking at the videotape from Monday, was happy with a lot of things I saw. It's different getting back into it. Guys got to get their motors going. The effort part of it. But I would say for spring one, it was great. And spring two, I like what I saw today. So questions?
How many, the 15, how many will be padded practices?
Probably
real life.
12. 12? Yeah. So we got 2 in now, and I would believe, Craig, if I'm not mistaken, the practice before the spring game, this practice before the spring game will go no pads. I think, and again, don't mark me on that. I have to go look at my calendar. I believe that'll be 12. Not full contact. Did you say full contact?
I meant full contact. Yeah.
Full contact. I mean, there's new rules out as far as how much contact you have.
You won't do much at all.
Huh?
You won't do much.
You know what? It's funny. The NCAA makes all these rules, like they think we're idiots. Like it cracks me up. They make these rules, and you look at the rules, and you're like, we don't do that much to begin with. Like you guys are. You're saying we can have this much contact. If we did that much contact, we'd all be in the training room, coaches included. But let them do what they want to do, and I think they're helping the game. But we'll never get near the contact that they're allowing us to. Put it that way.
How have you seen your guys take on, especially the offense, take on the new offense under Frank and what you guys are trying to install that might be different from last year?
It's a lot of good stuff. I mean, obviously we're seeing some of the same passing game and the same things we did a year ago, but there's just. To me, it's like a different offense every week anyway, so it's no different. I mean, that's what we do. I mean, you're going to, regular season, West Virginia's going to come in here, it's going to be a different offense. It's going to be different people running the offense. It's going to be different alignments, different skill sets that an offense or defense has. So it's good. I mean, our kids adjust to it. It's not like they're going, oh, this is wholly new, what, Coach? Well, you better get, after 2 days, you better have it down. You better know what they're trying to do. But the interesting thing about spring ball is every day it's like a new install. It's like a new team because there's more stuff being installed offensively, new stuff on defense. So just every day is like, the first day of a week.
What does a coach take away from spring practices? It's a chance to be around your guys, see them in something resembling practice or football. Over these weeks, what do you look for?
You look for a lot of stuff. The first thing you're looking for is, you lose a guy. Who did we lose? Did we lose our quarterback last year? Kenny Pickett, yeah. Right. He's not playing for us again. So you lose a guy like that, we want to replace him. Outside linebacker, we want to replace those guys. So we're looking for guys. We want to come out of spring ball and saying, who is that guy? Who's that star? Who is that Sam? Who is that boundary corner where Damari Mathis was? Who's our quarterback? Who's going to replace Lucas Crawl? Who's going to be his backup? Those are things we're looking for. We're looking for guys that are smarter, than they were last spring. They can pick up the offense and again, you want to come out of spring ball saying, I think we can be just as good or better, or hey, this is a weakness. We need to go find, another Sam linebacker. If he can't run, we got to get another. So those are all things we're looking for: is who can execute the offense, the defense, and special teams for that matter.
When you looked at it at the end of the season, your running back deployment last year, usage, what were some of the things that stood out to you? What did you notice?
You know what? I don't have any stats in front of me, and again, stats are stats. And again, I know you guys always ask, he got this many carries. Sometimes you don't know by carries because you're going by series. So it's not necessarily saying, hey, I'm going to get him 15 plays, I'm going to get you 12 plays, I'm going to get you 8 plays. So it all kind of goes, if the series goes longer and you ran it a few more times, you get more carries. But the thing I see is we got 3 starting tailbacks, and Izzy right now going into spring ball was the number 1 guy. I think he was last year, if I recall. But he wasn't at the end of spring ball, right? You guys remember that? But Izzy going into spring ball as a starter, but Rodney looks good. Vince looks good. Like, we got 3 starters, and you never know when you need them. And, you'd like to, you watch even the NFL games. I mean, they're playing 2 and 3 guys. So you want to keep those guys fresh. You want them playing hard and running hard and protecting hard.
Go ahead.
The portal is still an option, and you might be looking in the portal as we speak.
You're always looking in the portal, I guess. You're going to dip in there and look. What are your needs? I mean, I think we're going to come out of spring ball and say, what are our needs? And some of the players may go, hey, what's my needs? Everybody's got different needs. And if someone's not getting enough reps, they're going to, I don't think we talked about, Johnny V, just not feeling like he's going to, he wants to play more, Varza. So, wants to play more. And I'm like, hey, John, I think it's a great idea. I mean, you've been on scholarship for 2 years. You're a kind of an emergency guy. He can go to some different places, and play a lot depending on the depth chart. So those are things they got to make, and kids got to make decisions that are best for them, and we got to make decisions best for us. And sometimes those things happen. So we're not going to recruit a high school. I can tell you this: we're not going to recruit another high school kid coming out of school. So it's portal. It used to be, I'm going to go get a junior college guy, but you're staying out of the junior college. So that's when the portal could help you. But I'd rather go with 83 scholarships instead of 85, instead of taking some guy that doesn't fit our culture. I want a good kid, I want a guy with character, and someone that fit in with us.
Over the last 2 years, you've seen Vincent Davis grow up from being a younger running back to a guy you guys can trust. Same thing with Izzy. And you've told us how that a lot of that's embracing the details and doing the little things and not just showing up on game day to be a big playmaker. What has Rodney been the same way in growth this year, or has his approach been different? Because you guys used him a lot last year.
You know what? He wasn't here for spring ball, so this is his first spring. So he saw him fall camp. He's missed a couple classes, I think. So he's had to get the paddle out and bring him in the principal's office. So I can't compare his approach this spring to last spring just because he wasn't here. He came in August, or came in I guess late June, early July. So hard for me to answer, but I think you can see it from August that there's it's important to him. He's played, now it's even more important to him. But I think that's every kid. That's not just that spot.
You're bringing back the entire starting offensive line, but you got guys like Ryan Baer. What can a first year like him do in spring ball to really fall for himself to push those guys for a starting position?
I mean, when you look at the Bear, and you guys saw him when he said something about the Cleveland Browns, which I would never have said that, but classic. Say you're a hero in Pittsburgh forever. I think it'll be replayed, especially I guess at the Steeler Brown week. But the first thing is you got to come in and pick the offense up. He's big. You saw what he looks like. He's strong, and he's benching over 400 pounds. Some of his numbers are ridiculous, but the game is a little faster than it was in high school. So he's going to have to, to get into the speed of the game and pick up things. There's different defenses. They move faster. The offense moves faster. There's more checks and different things that they've got to be involved in. So it's a progression for what Ryan's going to go through. He might look good on day 1, but what's he going to look on day 7 or 8?
How's Jacoby fitting in?
Fitting great.
Tackle?
He's been at a guard all last year, and I think he can do anything. You might see him play fullback. Who knows?
How have you seen Eric and Brandon, grow from last year to this year? Because last year they were the new safeties you guys had to depend on with Paris and DeMar gone. This year they're the experienced guys, and Eric having a huge ACC championship.
Yeah. I mean, those guys just, play with a little bit more confidence all the time. Even, P.J. O'Brien and you see Steph Hall making some plays out here as well, just with some speed. I saw him run around. Yes, I saw one play where he went from this end to that side and was like, holy cow, he's flying around. And he's been banged up a little bit. So, but Eric and Brandon have done a great job of really leading the secondary. I think those are your 2 leaders back there. Brandon probably a little bit more vocal. Eric a little bit more by example, I think. But it's like having DeMar and Paris back again. 2 experienced guys. We got them for another year, and that's a beauty.
You said
Jared, this will be the last one. We have Jordan.
You said a few weeks ago you were going to the Senior Bowl. What did you see? What did you hear about your guys down there?
You heard great things. I mean, what are they going to tell you? Bad things?
Inside stuff.
But you're not getting any inside. There is no insides. Who's going to tell you? Oh yeah, we're taking Kenny with the 6th pick.
I'm not asking that. I'm just want to know.
But everybody loved how they worked down there. I mean, I guess it was the Jets had Damari and they just loved him. Like what he was doing. Cal did a great job down. I mean, and again, obviously they spoke greatly of what Kenny did, and Kenny's doing interviews right now in Indianapolis, and tomorrow afternoon we got the combine, which will be fun to watch. Prime time, I guess, kind of a little bit different. So just heard good things. Went down there and but like I said, they're not telling you maybe the things that you need to know. But that'll all come out. Those are three great players that are going to.
Did they pick your brain, some of the NFL guys?
Yeah, they asked. You tell me about this, but they're going to dig around. I always tell our kids all the time, the NFL guys aren't going to come to the dad. We have nothing bad to say about our kids, do we? We love them. But they're going to go dig around. How you're treating, the custodian, how you're treating, Jules that's, in the cafe, how you treating the equipment guy. I mean, they're going to go around to find out, like, who this guy is, how does he treat people, I think. And that's the big thing. And then they'll watch the tape and see. The tape speaks for itself when it comes down to all these draftable guys this year.
And then Kenny's tiny hands. I don't know how y'all won so many games with him.
Yeah, we got lucky. I mean, you can we got lucky. We gave him a lot of stickum on his gloves because his hands are so tiny. But he'll be okay.
Is stickum legal in the NCAA?
No. Mr. Bolitnikoff. Okay, yeah. Mr. Bolitnikoff. Speaking of Mr. Do you guys remember Bolitnikoff? You might be too young for that.
No.
Okay.
They graduated
Remember all
together.
that stuff?
Yeah.
He don't. Have you ever clue what Bolitnikoff looked like? You got to go look at some pictures. He had stickum all over his legs, his arms. But it wasn't cheap back then. But I mean, he had this yellow stuff all over the place. But he's going down Saturday to get that award finally. So can't wait to see that.
Shamiri, he's a local guy.
Huh?
He's
You remember
Shamiri.
who you know it?
Well, I got it.
Is he really?